Good. Come on, sing it with me now. Come on, come on. Good morning. Good morning. It's time to start our day. Good morning. Good morning to you and you and you and you and you. Good morning. So yeah, we're going to set our intention today, and it could be whatever you want. As always, we can use the practice to give it to somebody. If we know someone who's suffering, it's a wonderful opportunity to use our time on the mat to serve someone else, to give someone else this feeling tone that we get to develop. Maybe there's something specifically that you want. And so we're going to use our practice today as we do every day, right? Yoga is a tool. It's a lovely tool that I am just so grateful that I know about, as I'm sure you are too, whether you're here live or in the recording. So one of the things that I do every single day of my life pretty much is I journal. I get up in the morning and I journal, and I do some of the mindset work on myself that I teach. And this morning, for whatever reason, I wrote about what yoga, what poses, what this time on the mat does for me. And it was fun to sort of write it out. I think about it, but I don't really ever write it out. And so I want you to inner journal here. What is it specifically that you get from these yoga poses? We know we get opening on our shoulders, and we open up our hamstrings, and we open up our chest, and we know we get to do all that. But that's not the primary focus. We've talked about this quite a lot over the year and a half we've been together. Remembering that the practice of yoga, these poses that we do, are a step towards truly knowing ourselves. We have this hour or this 10 minutes or this, 8 breaths or whatever it is that we're practicing. It's a tool to know ourselves and to see ourselves in such an intimate way. No one, not a therapist, not a mindset coach, not a best friend, not a spouse. No one can know us as clearly as we can know ourselves when we are moving through this practice. And you know why? Because they don't feel what we feel. It's like when we think about our past, or we think about that really fun moment, when we tell someone about, oh, and then they came in and this happened and this happened. They weren't there. So they can't really experience it the exact same way that we do, because it was our feeling tone that felt that moment, right, in our world. And it's the same thing here. We can see ourselves so intimately, so truly. And when we learn to do it in our physical body, when we learn to notice those really subtle details in our body and how that feeling tone in our body makes us emotionally feel, when we can see that, and then we can breathe in it or breathe through it, we bring such a compassion, such a nurturing quality, hopefully, to ourselves without the judgment, getting into that space between that body and the mind. It is just, I don't want to use the word addictive, but it's just, I need to do the yoga today. I need to spend some quality time with this beloved in myself, this time with my precious sacred self. So I'm all dork today. I am all dork, but that's how I really feel. I do yoga because I just love having time to care for my inner self. I love it. And I have great strength and stability and alignment and open hips and all of it because of it. But the purpose of it for me is that I have my eyes on me all the time, all the time. And then I move through my life with mindfulness and awareness and joy and peace as much as I can. And I want the same thing for you. So yeah, let's do it. So finding a position that sits up nice and tall. I'm going to give you my example, my specific example of what I'm talking about. Yours will be different. But for me, for example, when I turn my head from side to side and I have a cranky neck, or a tight neck, and I do it, and I notice that the neck feels tight, I might have a rushing of vulnerability or a rushing of fear. Oh no, what's wrong with my neck? Or a rushing of helplessness. I don't know how to fix it, right? It's only a second. It's only a second, but a little feeling like a flood of, we could say, stress when I first notice that I'm not 100%. And then I do it another second or two, and I come into my right alignment. I put the head on top, or the shoulders are dropping, and I continue to do it. And I automatically shift into compassionate for my neck. And then this maternal nurturing quality takes over, like I'm petting a dog or rocking a child. And so this first flood of helplessness or flood of vulnerability or fear turns into very, very quickly compassion and nurturing and loving. Isn't that fun? It's so fun to do. So that's the way I approach all my poses. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do today. So first, noticing what that flood is that you get when you notice you're tight or stiff or sore. Is it fear? Is it vulnerability? For me, it goes into helplessness, which is horrible to feel. And then I remember my wise voice. I find that right alignment, and I continue just bringing a quality of deep breath and relaxation and calm, or whatever it is. So that's what we'll play with today. Okay. We're going to turn on the inner gaze today. So here we are, sitting up nice and tall. 1 minute, watching the Annamaya Kosha, that physical body. Where do you feel tight, stiff, resistant, closed? Just taking this first minute to notice. Beautiful. Pulling back the curtain in the physical body, let's go into the inner body, the breath. Let's see what's going on there. We're going to notice it without changing it. Are you holding your breath? Is your exhale super long and your inhale shallow? Or is your inhale super long and your exhale shallow? Start to bring in a rhythm now. I'll inhale and an exhale that are equal in length. Maybe a 4-4 pattern, or 6-6, 8-8. And on this third and final minute, sitting up as tall as you can. It doesn't matter how your legs are folded. We're just going to turn the head like you're lying in bed and your head is on a pillow, and you're just rotating the head side to side. Noticing how it feels to turn it. So not how it feels physically, but how does it feel emotionally? We use our yoga mat as a mirror. As we continue on, starting to notice, what is it you need for the mat today? Again, are you giving this practice to someone? Is there a quality that you want to bring in and embrace in your own world? Or is there something you're expecting from someone else to give you that maybe you can focus on giving yourself? Understanding or acceptance, unconditional love. 2 more rounds here. What you need from today. So good. And come back to center. Let's bring Anjali Mudra, thumbs together towards the heart. We're going to find our mantra for today. What brings you to the mat? When you have your mantra for today, gently bring our chin to the chest. Open your eyes. See your fingertips. Remember the promise that you're making, and then slide the head back up to neutral and release. Beautiful. All right, finding your way over to hands and knees. So taking your time to tabletop. Start to move your back in any way that feels good to you. Spreading your fingers, equal space between each and every finger, including the thumb. Just noticing how it is you're feeling today. Starting to create that Samavriti pattern, that equal inhale, that equal exhale. How does it feel to move today? Not again physically, but emotionally. When we can do it physically, we're able to get better and better and better about noticing our feeling tones. And when we notice what we feel, it gives us a big spotlight on what we're thinking. Two more deep breaths wherever you are. And beautiful. Let's come into hands and knees. We're going to take 3 rounds of slowly, on the count of 6, moving to downward dog. So curling our toes under slowly, pressing into the thumbs, pulling that belly up. Up we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Back down, both knees at the same time. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, look up. Same thing. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. What qualities are you bringing to yourself? And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Last one. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and downward facing dog will stay up here. Feeling dynamic, maybe you'll take your left hand to the right thigh and let that neck have a nice release. If that's not working for you, then skip it. Switcheroo, take the other hand if you're doing it. And beautiful. When you're ready, we're going to walk forward. I can feel myself getting more and more curious about how I feel today and more loving. How are you feeling? What are you noticing as we start to put these movements in? Walk your feet as wide as the mat here, and let's take a moment to notice our hammies. Maybe you're going to rock side to side. Are you holding back from releasing the head? Can you surrender a little bit more? How does it feel to do that? Does it feel vulnerable? What do you think about this tightness that you're noticing? What about if you roll your shoulders? What does that feel like? How does it make your emotional body feel? As we talked about in Wednesday's class, part of the lower back work is having strong hips, open hamstrings, and a strong abdominal muscles. So we want to be focusing on that today. The request is lower back. So we're just noticing right now. Here we are. Some of you will walk your feet back into hip distance. Some of you, if you're feeling really tight, keep them wide. Take your yoga mudra hands, so you're interlacing your fingers around your back, palm facing down. Work those knuckles to the sky. Maybe begin to straighten those knees. Three more deep breaths. 2. Beautiful. Bend the knees. Strong, 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 strong. Lift up. All the way up, up, up. The Zoom is doing all kinds of crazy things. I don't know. I hope you guys are hanging in there. All right. So now what we're going to do is take our blocks at the tall level. This is the Vinyasa flow class, and we are getting to it. But I want to play with the core just a tiny bit here, and then we'll dive into some more flow. So get your blocks at the top of the mat here. Twirl your hair so that it gets out of your face. Okay. Again and again and again and again. And then take your hands on your block right underneath your shoulders. Your feet are right underneath your knees, and we're going to focus on core here. This is some good core work because we have gravity helping us. Inhale, big belly. Exhale, keep your back straight, but pull your belly in nice and firm. Keep your back straight. We're not doing cat-cow. Inhale, big belly, keep the back straight. Exhale, pull it up, 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 up. Keep that back flat as a board. Maybe start to lengthen the breaths. Inhale, big belly. Exhale, pull it in. In. Feel like you're knitting the navel to the spine. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Okay, keep doing that or a little bit more. Step back into push-up position. Same thing. Inhale, big belly. You could have your knees down if you need to. Exhale, pull the belly in. 2 more. Pull it in. Last one. So good. And up we go, downward dog. Anything happening with the hammies? Do you feel like they're getting any bit more open here? Let's walk our big toes together for this round. We're going to drag our left leg up. Open that hip. Maybe even kick yourself in the bottom here and feel that big opening on that hip. The outer right hip is moving behind you, so we're not opening that hip. We're opening just the left one, just the one in the air. 3 more deep breaths. How does this emotionally feel? To me, it feels free. How does it feel for you? One more. No judgment about what's good or bad. All right, come on back to center. Big toes together. Switch a ruby. Open that right hip. Maybe kick yourself in the bottom. Keep dropping your head. Keep that left hip neutral. All that fresh blood coming into the brain. Such a kind thing to do. 2 more deep breaths. To keep that brain working. 1 more. So good and beautiful. Come on out. We'll walk forward here. Feet hip distance apart, and then Uttanasana, and we'll roll up or flat back it up if that feels better for you, and come all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Reach up for the sky and pull it in. How you doing? How you doing? Roll those shoulders. Roll them the other way. Get a little playful in that body of yours. Your body is a wonderland, right? That song. Here we go. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Don't forget that core. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Knit that navel up. Feel that length. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay there, or push up position. Stay there, or chaturanga. Downward dog. Beautiful. When you're ready, jump, walk, or float your feet up. Back to that standing forward fold and release. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up and exhale. Again, please inhale, reach it up and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. This is some good core work. Feel that connection. Exhale, step it back to downward facing dog. Stay there. Or again, a push-up position or any variation you want to do.
Bring your mantra back. You can watch the patterns of your world, your life experience by the way your body holds it, right? Where do you find the resistance, the tension, the grit? When you're ready, jump, walk, or float your feet back up. Inhale, long, healthy spine. Exhale, forward fold, strong root to rise. Inhale and exhale. Let's go one more round, please. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, bring your big toes together. We're going to start to do a series of lunges. Take your right leg up. Some of you will go knee to elbow and pulse it. Some of you will go ahead and step your right foot to the right hand and bring your left knee down. Your choice here. So either bring your left knee down or you're pulsing. If you need a pad underneath your knee, grab it. And we're just going to take our time here and find this nice lunge. As always, knee's going to sit right over that ankle. Outer right hip is moving back. Outer left hip is moving forward, and finding the front tip of the pubic bone moving back. So you got a nice big opening here. You can take your hands to the thighs and pull that thigh forward and keep scooping your pubic bone back. Some of you might even be able to open that knee, pressing through the top of the foot. That's pretty dynamic through the ankle. If it's too intense, skip it. You could also bend the knee. Whatever feels like it's really getting into that loving, nurturing quality or whatever it is you're trying to do today. Two more deep breaths. So good. And remove the block, step back into down dog or go through a vinyasa. Second side, left leg up, pulse it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Step that left foot forward, right knee down. Use your blocks for the first round. Outer left hip is moving back. Outer right hip is moving forward. Keep tipping the front rim back. Or take your hands to the thigh and feel that opening. Or some of you be able to lift that knee. Or bend that knee. Bring your intention back. So good and beautiful. Through that vinyasa, back up to downward dog. Again, please take your right knee to the sky, step it to the right wrist, or do your pulses again. And step it through, squeeze those thighs together and open up.
We're going to take the left knee slightly down to the floor and back up and bend and up. 3, 2 more. 4. Okay, full lunge here. Really feel that lunge tipping the pelvis back, dropping that tailbone down, feeling that extension here. You could take your hands to the hip. You could take them up to the sky like what I'm doing, whatever feels like you're really getting that opening. But you have to really plug up the abdominal muscles. Feel like you're zipping up your jeans here. That tailbone drop into the floor. 3 more deep breaths. When you're ready, we're going to bring this left knee down. You could stay here, or you could grab your blocks again, take them to the middle of the mat and walk this right foot out. Second, third toe, kneecap. Second, third toe, kneecap. Maybe you could bring your elbows down. The work here is abdominals. Feel like when we were standing up, how we were pulling that navel to the spine. Inhale, big belly. Exhale, navel to spine. Maybe you're down like me. Maybe you're down to the floor. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're way up there. Whatever's working for you. You could bend that back leg. About 8 more breaths. You could feel the sense that you're dragging forward. So you're not on that left knee, but you're on more of the left thigh. And using strong abdominal muscles to knit yourself up and off the floor. One more deep breath. So good. Release the left toes to the ground. Come on up, up, up. And we're going to walk our right foot over to the right side of the mat. Now, if pigeon is too tricky for you, you know you're going to go onto your back and do number 4 with the right ankle on the left thigh. So I'll show it to you in just a minute, but everybody else, you're going to go into a pigeon pose here where you're going to bring your entire right sits bone down. If you can't bring it down, sit on something, a blanket or something. That way we're not putting too much pressure in that knee joint. There's a 90-degree angle here, or you're bringing that heel closer to the bottom. Okay, if you're not able to do this pose, you're doing this one. Okay. Feeling whatever it is that's going on for you. Now you can take it like this today, dynamic pigeon, where you're staying up. You could bend this back leg and grab the ankle and play there, or hands behind your back, tap your forehead, push that leg down and come up. 3 more times, whatever you're working on today. Opening our hips. Two. So good. And curling our toes under, strong body, up, 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 up. We go and walk it out. Shall we do the other side? Yes, let's do it.
Left leg up. If you're pulsing, go ahead and pulse knee to elbow. If you're skipping that, go ahead and take it to the left wrist. Again, we're not doing yoga, right? This isn't doing, this is using it to have this intimate time getting to know yourself. No judgment, no shoulds. Just what's going on with me today? What do I need today? All right, here we go. Big lunge. Dip it down and up. And 4. And 3. 2. And beautiful. We're going to take our arms up. And again, zip up those abdominal muscles. Feel yourself really reaching, having a nice big opening. We're focusing on lower back today. Open. Three more breaths. Use those abdominal muscles. 2. And beautiful, beautiful. Come on down. This time we're going to walk our left foot out, right? Double check that you're keeping the heel and the toes over that or underneath that kneecap. You could take your blocks. Maybe you could bring your elbows down. Maybe you want to bend the foot here. You want to bend that knee. Maybe you don't. Whatever you did on that first side, aim for that again so that you feel balanced. 8 long breaths. Use that belly work. Pull those abdominals in. Loving yourself the whole time. Again, maybe for you, the next pose will be pigeon on your back. Maybe you're okay with doing it on the front. So you're going to walk that foot over to the left, or sorry, to the right. And if you're working deeper, maybe you'll have like a 90-degree angle here. This is pretty intense. Some of us are down here with this heel to groin. But as always, I really prefer you keep the whole hip down. If you can't get that hip down, then go ahead and use a blanket or something. And then maybe you can even close this right hip. If it's kinky here, or not kinky, but if it's cloggy, that kind of thing, then maybe you'll back it off. All right, so your choice here, you could stay up in dynamic pigeon. You could focus on bending this back leg and maybe even grabbing the arch side of the foot and feeling that nice back bend happening here, or working deeper, working on stabilizing. Press this leg down, grab the hands behind you, and tap your forehead 5 times. Whatever you feel like you want to do. Deep, deep breaths.
So good. So good. And then when you're ready to drop it out, go ahead and curl those toes under. Launch yourself up and to downward dog. Walk it out.
If you want to go through a vinyasa, go through a vinyasa. We're going to do one more thing together. Go ahead and bring your belly all the way down to the mat. Walk your feet as wide as the mat and curl your toes under. Okay, we're going to do what's called the Alexanders. They're just really nice back bends to sort of put your body in a nice position. So if it feels too intense, of course, you'll back off. Forehead to the hands, curl your toes under. And now pick your thighs up. Knees are straight and then drop them down. Do that a couple times. Lift the thighs, keep the toes on the ground, and release. Now, as you're playing with this, are you squeezing your bottom? See if you can find a sense of tone, but not clenching, not locked. Another way to describe it is push your pubic bone against the floor so that you feel active, but not clenching. All right, here we go. Take your hands to the outside of your mat, pressing through the thumb side of the hand, lift the thighs. Lift the heart, release the glutes. Pull that belly in. Inhale down. We'll do this 9 more times. Exhale, thighs up, heart up. Release the glutes here, feeling that sense the pubic bone is touching. And down. If this feels too tight, too intense, I want you to back off. The key is to not squeeze and grip. Just massaging those discs into place. All that sitting that we do. It's like the opposite of sitting. Check that you're not wearing shoulder earrings. When you come up, keep those shoulders down too. And patterning, we talked about patterns. Do you grip in one side more than the other? Just noticing. I have curiosity about myself and I have so much love. What is your mantra today? See if you can bring it here now. 3 more. Last one. Some of you will be quick. Some of you might even hold for a moment. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Grab your yoga strap, maybe a pillow, and roll her over. Roll her over. And just take a moment to pause. Hands down by your sides, feet hip distance apart. And we're going to be in perfect stillness for 1 minute. Stillness on the outside, but turning on that inner gaze, watching the breath move. What do you feel emotionally right now? Sometimes we say, I feel great, I feel good, I feel bad, I feel better.
right? Those are all judgments. See if we can lean in beyond the judgment. What do you feel right now? I feel relaxed. I feel open. I feel held or supported. I feel guided. I feel strong. I feel focused. All right. Continuing on now, grab your strap. If you don't have a loop in it yet, you're going to loop it. We're going to do the double hammock. And if your strap is not long enough to do it for yourself, then you're not going to put it under your head. You'll do what we call Hasta and Gustasana, which looks like this. We're going to have the elbows straight. Okay. Today for us, though, we're going to put both feet in the hammock and the head. And I like to put a block between my ankles. So there's a block between my ankles so that my feet stay hip distance apart. I'm pushing the big toes towards the sky. The head is super heavy. And I'm noticing these hamstrings again. So if your strap is not long enough for you to do this, you will not put it on the head. You'll just use your hands. Now here's what we're doing. We are noticing the connective tissue in the back body. So as you sit here for the next 2 minutes, so it's going to be a nice long time, we're going to focus on how do we let that lower back, that sacrum, that tailbone drop to the floor. So in other words, we're trying to contradict, or oppose the position. The feet are moving towards us, but the thighs and the lower back are moving away. About 16 breaths. Here we go. Relax. Some strong core work. You're still pulling that belly in. You might feel your legs tremoring. That's okay. One more minute. Three more deep breaths or 4 more deep breaths. And whenever you feel like it's time to come out of that and go into any posture you want. Maybe it's happy baby. Maybe it's knees to chest. Maybe it's a little bit of a Jatara Parivartanasana, a little reclining twist. What are you emotionally feeling when you notice what you are physically feeling?
a deep inner gaze. How is your life? How are your beliefs and your relationships? All of it. How is it riding in your body? The way you're eating, the way you're sleeping, right? All of it shows up on the mat. Switching sides if you're on one side. And almost always when I get to this end of class, I always just sort of fall into gratitude. Man, oh man, am I grateful I know about yoga. Man, oh man, am I grateful I know these tools. So transformative, honestly. Take about 3 more breaths. Take your time. And starting to move into our final posture, please. You could take Shavasana with your legs up the wall. You could take it into Baddha Konasana where the feet are touching but the knees are wide. You could prop your legs up on some blocks. Remember your mantra. Remember what it is you're looking for today, how you want to feel. I love being with you. I love it. I'm so grateful to you for allowing me to be a part of your practice and a part of your mornings or evenings whenever you're watching this. When I keep my light on, I help you light up, and then you put your light on and you help everyone around you light up. That's the secret sauce. All right, enjoy your Shavasana, spill out, let it all be open, relaxed, and balanced. Take the mind and anchor it to watching yourself breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in and breathe out. Nothing else, nothing else. And as always, may this work be of benefit to you. It is truly my honor and privilege to be here with you. Deep bows to you all. Namaste.